Hi, I'm Danny and these are my Diecast Disasters. And in this video, I'm going to be restoring this little Corgi, Tom and Jerry's Banger. So these, I believe, were produced around 1979 to 1980. I couldn't find a whole heap of info on them, but some appeared to have metal bases and others plastic bases like this one. They came individually or in a set with Tom in his own vehicle. So taking a look off the turntable, you can see it's not in too bad a condition, mostly just scuffed paint. The engine's a little bit broken there. Just really grubby and needs a good cleanup. Okay, so there's 5 posts. There's 4 short ones, and then there's one big one up at the rear there. So I'll carefully drill those out, and then I should be able to pop the base off and take it all apart. So there's those drilled out. Now I can take the base off there, disassemble the rest of it. So there's the red cannonballs in there. They're looking pretty grubby. And there's Jerry. And the green cannon. And then the engine is held on by a couple of tabs there. It's sort of springy and bendy in the middle between the 2 engines, but that bit's a bit broken, so I have to do something about that later. Right, now I can use some paint stripper to strip the paint off of the casting. And then after paint stripping, I give it a further clean up with a wire brush on my Dremel. I use a 1.7mm drill and a 256 tap to drill and tap the rear posts there. The other ones are too shallow, so I'll fix them another way later. Now I can add some paint. I started out with just a light layer of white primer and then just gave it a couple of nice coats of fresh orange. Onto the plastic parts now. So they're all in good condition. Well, these parts anyway, not the engine, but they're all pretty grubby, so the first step will be to give them a jolly good wash in some hot soapy water and then see how they're looking after that. Right, here they are looking a whole lot cleaner. So you might notice there's a little bit of sort of yellowing on the green plastic. It's a little bit underneath. I'm not going to be able to do anything about that. I think I can clean up this cannon here, so it's mainly just around the end of the cannon on a couple of high spots. So I'll give it a quick sand with some 1200 grit sandpaper, and then I gave it a polish with some plastic polish. I think it's looking a bit better after that. The next thing I did was to hit all the plastic parts apart from the chassis there with some plastic reviver. Give them a good old slathering of that, and then I just left them to soak it up. And that'll just give them a good refresh, make them nice and shiny again, and give them a few extra years of life. So I don't think there's any point taking the wheels out, and I don't have any to replace them. They're not exactly the same, so I just want to keep it original. I'm just going to give these a bit of a tidy up. They're a little bit scuffed, but there's not much you can really do about that. Just use a bit of silver paint here to re-chrome the hubs on them. And where I went over, got some silver paint on the tyre, I'm just using a piece of soft balsa wood to rub it off. Then I finished it off with a dose of the plastic reviver on the wheels and the chassis as well. So now onto that scruffy looking engine there, or two engines I guess. So the first thing I'll do is use some hot water and caustic soda to remove what chrome is remaining on it. So you can see where it's broken in the middle there, where it's meant to bend. I'm not going to do anything about that yet, because I'm not going to be able to fix it so that it bends and won't just break again. So I use a little bit of sandpaper to tidy up the scruffy ends of the pipes. And I hit it with a black primer, then a nice fresh coat of silver paint. Then I clipped it back into place on the body of the banger. So you can see where it's cracked there in the middle. And to fix that, I'm going to take a dab of my Starbond thick super glue. And I'm just using a skewer to apply a little bit of that over the crack. It's very thick, so it'll fill that up and set. I put it upside down while it was setting so that if it was going to flow, it would flow away from the body. And I had to repeat that process once again, and then give it a little sand flat. It was pretty smooth anyway. Now you can see I'm repainting it with black and then silver. So it's not a perfect fix, but you've got to look pretty closely to see that it's been repaired, and it's definitely not going to fall off or anything. And so here are all the refurbished parts of our little Corgi Jerry's banger ready to go back together. So first I'll pop the cannon in, and the cannon balls, then Jerry pops in there, and then I can put the chassis back on. That holds the cannon in place. And I use a 256 button head screw to screw on the rear where I drilled out the post. And then to replace the drilled out rivets on the other 4 short posts, I've worked some epoxy putty up and rolled some little tiny balls of it, and I'm just going to press them in to the post holes, make some little fake rivets. Then I just had to hit them with a little bit of orange paint. So hopefully if you picked it up and glanced at it, you wouldn't necessarily notice that it's been opened up. So there you go, there's all these steps to restore our little Corgi Tom and Jerry's banger. Taking a quick look back, it's definitely looking a bit of a scruffy mess there. Chipped paint and all that chrome missing off the engines and just pretty grubby. So let's see if we can tidy it up a bit. And here it is, our finished restored Corgi Jerry's banger. I think it's looking much tidier now. Nice fresh paint job. The engine's nice and shiny again, and all of that plastic is looking nice and fresh. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Did you have one of these when you were a kid? Or maybe you had the set? I'll definitely be on the lookout for the Tom vehicle. Quick shout out to my Patreons before I go. Thanks heaps for supporting the channel. Check out the links down below if you'd like to help out as well, or get some cheap super glue. Or you can check out my other channel where I do some sim racing stuff. Thanks heaps to you for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to like and subscribe and all that stuff. And I'll catch you on the next one.